welcome to Sleep Debuff channel. As we listen, we ease into relaxation and grow sleepy. I'm Emma, your host for this evening. I deeply appreciate your tuning in. This evening, we have a special treat for you. It's a lengthy episode designed to accompany you as you glide into a peaceful night's sleep. Let's get comfortable and start our magical journey tonight. Nestle into the snug embrace of your bed. Sense the stillness of the space around you and enjoy the peace and silence of the night. No matter how your day unfolded, whether it was hectic and intense or calm and laid back, it's time to let it go. Today's chapter has closed. Ease up on the whirl of activities, allowing any racing thoughts to slow down and rest, and allowing any leftover energy in your body to also slow down and rest. You've accomplished plenty today. There's no need to look ahead to tomorrow either. At this moment, the sole focus should be to relish the warmth of your bed, to relax your physique, and soothe your mind. Feel free to drift off and allow sleep to overtake you whenever it comes your way. Tonight, I will tell you the story of the Elder of the Mountain, the old story of the first assassin in the world. In the realm where shadows intertwine with light, where destinies are written in the unseen hands of fate, the story of Sabbah emerges like a whisper from the past, resonant with mystery and veiled truths. His life, an enigmatic tapestry woven from the threads of spiritual guidance, covert plots, and the stark realities of political necessity, unfolds like a parable of power and its profound consequences. Hassan, once a humble missionary with a vision that transcended the ordinary limits of religious devotion, found his calling in a world riddled with conflict. He was known as the Elder of the Mountain, a title that spoke of wisdom and solitude, yet his influence extended far beyond the silent echoes of the rocky peaks. Under his leadership, an order was born, the Hashan-i, or simply the Assassins. This name would echo through the corridors of power, instilling fear and awe in the hearts of crusader lords, kings, emperors, and sultans alike. The strength of the Assassins lay not merely in their skills, which included the deadly arts of stealth and combat, but in their unyielding loyalty to Hassan's cause. This loyalty was rooted in a philosophy that married the depth of spiritual introspection with the practicalities of worldly influence. The order itself became a legend, shrouded in the mystique of mysticism, its origins and operations a topic of whispered discussions in dimly lit rooms. The legend of Hassan and his assassins is not just a chronicle of conquests and political maneuvering. It is a story that challenges the boundaries between morality and duty, between the divine and the earthly. As we delve into the life of one of the most enigmatic figures to ever rise from the Middle East, we explore not only the deeds that shaped the destinies of nations, but also the profound spiritual journey of a man who sought to wield power in a world teetering on the edges of divine law and human ambition. Chapter 1: Humble Beginnings. In the dusty scrolls of history and the whispers of the wind, the story of Hassan begins in the ancient city of Qom around the mid-1050s. Born under the watchful eyes of a town steeped in spiritual and intellectual pursuits, his family soon moved to the city of Ray in Iran, a place pulsing with the vibrant legacy of Islamic thought. It was in this intellectual crucible that Hassan's young mind began to delve into the mysteries of the metaphysical, the nuances of spiritualism, and the intricate dance of celestial bodies across the sky. Hassan was not merely a studious boy. He was a vessel of curiosity, exploring the realms of palmistry, mystery languages, philosophy, astronomy, and mathematics, with a fervor that belied his years. By the tender age of 17, his spirit resonated so deeply with the teachings of Islam that he pledged his allegiance to the Fatimid Caliph in distant Cairo, setting his life on a course that would intertwine destiny with the divine. His devotion did not go unnoticed. The elders of his community saw in him a fire that could light 1,000 candles without diminishing. Thus, he embarked on a pilgrimage that would take him through the lands of Azerbaijan and Armenia, where his prowess in conversation and his charismatic aura became his heralds. Yet, his unyielding adherence to his beliefs often saw him cast out from the towns he endeavored to enlighten. Hassan's journey did not falter. It took him to Damascus, then to the sacred lands of Palestine, and finally to Egypt in 1078. The length of his stay in Egypt remains a shadow in history, but it was long enough for him to transform into a beacon of missionary zeal. His voice, however, was too bold for some, leading to his imprisonment on charges spurred by his passionate promotion of Shia Islam. Yet no cell could hold his spirit. He was soon released and deported, his resolve only strengthened by adversity. Driven by an unquenchable thirst for knowledge and a burning desire to share his vision, Hassan traversed the breadth of Persia, eventually finding himself in the northern reaches of Iran. There, the sands of fate shifted beneath his feet. Nizam al-Mulk, the iron-fisted ruler of the empire, deemed Hassan's teachings dangerously divergent from the Sunni orthodoxy and marked him a man to be captured. With the specter of capture looming over him, Hassan sought refuge near the mountainous fortress of Alamut, a place shrouded in legends of impregnability, its heavenly gardens a silent testament to the divine. The fortress was not just a sanctuary, but a citadel of free thought, with its extensive library and laboratories where the greatest philosophers, scientists, and theologians of the age gathered to weave tapestries of intellectual rebellion. Yet, for all the grandeur of Alamut, Hassan was a solitary figure within its looming walls, a lone man without an army, surrounded by potential, but isolated by circumstance. How would he, a single soul against an empire, claim this mountain stronghold as his own? The answer lay not in the strength of arms, but in the unyielding power of a visionary spirit, ready to change the world one soul at a time. Chapter 2: Hassan's Capture of Alamut Castle. In the golden warmth of the summer of 1090, Hassan set his sights on the distant silhouette of Alamut Castle, a towering fortress nestled among the rugged mountains. This castle, known for its impregnability, was not just a structure of stone and mortar. It was a symbol of the untamed spirit of the land, a guardian of secrets and old powers. Hassan, a master of words and human hearts, approached this monumental task not as a conqueror, but as a pilgrim seeking the truth. His journey to Alamut was not marked by the clashing of swords, but by the silent weaving of relationships. Each step closer to the fortress was a delicate dance of charisma and discretion. For the eyes of the castle's lord were ever watchful, and the walls had ears that whispered of intruders and rebels. With the artful grace of a poet, Hassan turned every encounter into an opportunity. His conversations with the soldiers, not commands, but dialogues of enlightenment. These were not mere exchanges of words, but seeds planted in fertile minds, nurtured by the genuine respect and undeniable charm that Hassan embodied. His philosophy, his vision of a world ruled not by tyrants, but by the enlightened, resonated deeply with those who guarded the gates and walked the ancient halls. Among these was the castle deputy, a man of considerable influence, whose soul was stirred by the profound insights and the palpable integrity of Hassan. In quiet corners and hushed tones, a pact was formed, not of allegiance to a man, but to an ideal. Soon, the new recruits, who were touched directly or indirectly by Hassan or his dedicated missionaries, found a new creed to embrace. The fortress, once a place of military might, began a transformation into a cradle of a revolution, spearheaded by thoughts and not by swords. The castle's internal shift was a silent revolution, a gentle yet unstoppable change that swept through its corridors like a soft but persistent breeze. When the moment of truth arrived, it was not with a storm of violence, but with the calm of a new dawn. Hassan approached the lord of the castle, not with an army at his back, but with an undeniable authority in his solitude. The castle is now ours, he declared, with the serenity of one who speaks an undeniable truth. Stunned by the realization that the loyalty of his soldiers had turned like the pages of a book, the Lord saw no option but surrender. Power shifted hands, not with the clash of swords, but with the signing of a parchment. The soldiers, now disciples of Hassan's cause, did not celebrate with shouts of victory, but with quiet acknowledgement of a new beginning. Thus, Hassan became the master of Alamut Castle, a place that would no longer be just a fortress of stone, but a beacon of light, guiding the way toward a new era. This was not a conquest, but a liberation, not just of a castle, but of minds and hearts, forever altering the course of history. Chapter 3: Power and a Change in the Mind. As the sun cast its first golden rays over the newly claimed Alamut Castle, Hassan stood at the edge of the world, looking out over the vast lands that stretched beneath him. In that moment of solitude, with the breeze whispering ancient secrets through the mountain passes, Hassan felt a profound transformation stir within his soul. He had begun his journey within the comforting embrace of traditional Islamic teachings, guided by the belief that leadership should rightfully flow through the descendants of Muhammad. Yet, as the dust of his travels settled and the quiet of Alamut enveloped him, Hassan's thoughts began to tread uncharted paths. The world around him was vast, filled with divergent beliefs and contentious power struggles, and he saw a vision of unity that transcended conventional boundaries. With the clarity of a prophet and the conviction of a sage, Hassan envisioned a new order, a splinter group that would challenge the status quo and carve out a new era of enlightenment. This was the birth of the Nizari Ismaili state, a beacon during what would be known as the Alamut period. Here, Amidst the towering solitude of Alamut, Hassan sought not just to rule, but to illuminate, to spread a doctrine that illuminated the minds of his followers. The followers, now branded as the assassins or Hashashins, were not mere warriors of the physical realm, but soldiers of a higher calling. They were the carriers of a new understanding, warriors who wielded the sword of truth as deftly as their physical weapons. Hassan's teachings imbued them with a purpose that transcended the mundane battles over land and power. They fought for the liberation of the human spirit, for the right to seek one's own path to divine understanding. Under Hassan's guidance, these assassins began to expand their influence, but not through conquests of land and tyranny over souls. Instead, they infiltrated the fabric of societies, using their unmatched skills and unshakable loyalty to alter the course of history quietly but decisively. Each mission they undertook was a carefully woven thread in the larger tapestry of Hassan's vision. Each act not of violence, but of strategic purpose, aimed at undermining the corrupt and enlightening the oppressed. The expansion of Hassan's political power through his assassins was a paradoxical blend of shadow and light. In the shadows, they moved silently, shaping the fates of empires through whispers and the swift silence of their actions. In the light, they were heralds of a new age, philosophers who debated kings and scholars, who spread the word of a faith that promised deeper understanding and personal connection to the divine. As Alamut grew in both mystery and renown, so too did the legend of Hassan and his assassins. They became both feared and revered, a symbol of power that could reach into the hearts of rulers and the minds of the people. And at the heart of it all was Hassan, the master of Alamut, whose own mind had changed as much as he sought to change the world around him. Chapter 4: Awakening in a Secret Garden Paradise. In the unfolding narrative of Hassan's reign over Alamut, there emerged a tale wrapped in the mystique of the Orient, where the boundary between reality and legend blurred into a tapestry of awe and wonder. It was said that within the fortified walls of Alamut lay a hidden garden of such extraordinary beauty, it could only be described as a slice of paradise on earth. Hassan, with his charisma sculpted through years of journeying across lands and delivering near infallible speeches, had cultivated a fellowship of loyal followers. These were not ordinary men. They were chosen for their potential, their strength, and their unyielded ability to withstand the rigors of both mind and spirit. According to the whispers of the old and the songs of the bards, Hassan's followers would traverse the valleys and mountains, searching for young, robust teenage boys who showed signs of great fighting potential. These young souls, upon being chosen, would undergo a profound transformation. They were given hashish and led into a deep slumber, awakening not in the mundane realm they knew, but in a wondrous garden hidden within the depths of Alamut Castle. Here, the air was perfumed with the sweet fragrance of jasmine and roses, and the sound of running water from elegant fountains soothed the deepest corners of the soul. Surrounded by the most exquisite beauties they had ever seen, these boys believed they had transcended the earthly plane and entered paradise itself. Days of bliss passed, where every desire was fulfilled and every sense heightened in this celestial garden. However, as the effect of the hashish faded, they were once again lulled into sleep and awakened back in the stark stone reality of the castle. The memory of the garden lingered like a sweet dream long after they woke, and the desire to return became the driving force of their existence. Hassan, they were told, held the key to paradise, a paradise that could be theirs again if they pledged unconditional loyalty and followed his orders without question. This experience, rooted deeply in their hearts and minds, eradicated their fear of death. Dying, if it meant returning to that heavenly garden, became a coveted destiny. This narrative, whether steeped in truth or cloaked in myth, served a greater purpose in Hassan's grand vision. He aimed to unify all under the Shia doctrine, which he fervently believed was the true path of Islam. It was this doctrine that he hoped would illuminate the minds and spirits of his followers, offering not just salvation in the hereafter, but a profound understanding of the divine in the now. Amidst these endeavors, it was rumored that Hassan found solace and perhaps escape in the vast library of Alamut, where over 200,000 volumes on politics, philosophy, religion, and the metaphysical lay. It was here, among the ancient scrolls and silent tomes, that Hassan perhaps battled his own demons and angels, searching for truths that would either cement his legacy or unravel his mysteries. In the secret garden of Alamut, as in the fortress's great library, the lines between reality and allegory intertwined, creating a legend that was as much a testament to Hassan's genius as it was a reflection of the human quest for understanding and transcendence. Chapter 5. The Order of the Hashishin. As the tale of Hassan and Alamut unfurled across the lands, it reached the ears of distant empires and stirred the courts of power. The news that Hassan had claimed the fortress of Alamut did not sit quietly. It roared like a storm across the deserts and mountains, reaching the courts of the Sunni Muslim dynasty. Their response was swift, a demand cloaked in the guise of an invitation, asking Hassan to bow before their supremacy. Yet Hassan, steadfast like the mountains surrounding Alamut, responded with a calm that belied the deep currents of his resolve. "We cannot obey the orders of others except our Imam," he declared, his voice echoing off the ancient stone walls. "The material glory of kings cannot impress us." His message was clear, resonant with the defiance of a man who had transcended the allure of earthly power. "Tell your king to let us live in our cell in peace. We will be compelled to take arms if we are tested. The army of the Maliksha has no spirit to fight with our warriors, who do not give importance to this little span of life." The challenge laid by Hassan was not taken lightly. Soon enough, the Salitic forces, under the banner of the Sunni dynasty, amassed outside the gates of Alamut, their presence a dark cloud threatening storm. They laid siege to the fortress, a relentless test of wills, attempting to starve Hassan and his followers into submission, cutting off water and supplies, hoping to break their spirit. But the spirit of the Hashishin was not one to be easily broken. Within the walls of Alamut, amidst dwindling supplies and the shadow of death, Hassan's resolve grew even stronger. He rallied his followers, persuading them with words steeped in the divine assurance of their faith. He declared that he had received a message from Imam Mustansir Billah from Cairo, promising them good fortune amidst their trials. This message, whether divine or crafted from the depths of Hassan's strategic mind, ignited a ray of hope that pierced through the despair of the siege. Miraculously, as the siege wore on, the leader of the Saudi forces, Tutantash, met his end in a sudden raid, an event that seemed almost a manifestation of Hassan's prophesied good fortune. The death of Tutantash was the flame that broke the siege's hold, kindling a surge of enthusiasm and renewed faith among Hassan's men. The spirit of deep-rooted faith, nurtured by the trials they had endured, was now fully aflame in the hearts of the Hashishin. This painful victory, bought with the currency of resilience and belief, strengthened the roots of Ismailism at Alamut. Despite this victory, Hassan remained a man of peace at his core, forever seeking to dissuade further conflict. He reached out to the Sultan of the Saudi Turks, hoping to quell the fires of war with words of peace. Yet, his attempts were in vain, as the tides of history and the ambitions of empires are seldom turned by the desires of a single man. The order of the Hashishin, thus, stood as a beacon of both defiance and peace, a paradox that would echo through the ages, woven into the fabric of their legacy. Chapter 6. The Assassins. In the shadowed silence of Alamut's halls, the whispers of destiny merged with the rustle of silk and the soft clink of weaponry. Hassan's followers, now known as the Hashashins, had transcended the bounds of ordinary men. Trained in the dark arts of murder, stealth, and martial prowess, they wielded their skills with a precision that was almost divine. Each man was not just an assassin. He was a fervent disciple of a cause greater than himself, bound by a loyalty to Hassan that was as unshakable as the mountains surrounding them. It was during a night veiled with the secrecy of moonlight that a defining moment unfolded, a moment that would seal the legend of the Hashishins in the annals of history. The Sultan, a ruler of considerable power and influence, retired to his chambers, unaware that the night would bring a message that would echo through the corridors of his palace. Beside his bed, glinting in the dim light, lay a dagger. Not just any dagger, but one placed there by a Hashishin, a silent whisper of the power and reach of Hassan. Wrapped around the hilt was a note, a message laden with meanings deeper than the blade itself. Let it not deceive you into thinking that I lie far from you on the rock of Alamut, because those whom you have chosen for your service command and obey my direction. One who could fix this dagger in your bed could also have planted it in your heart, but I saw you as a good man and have spared you. So, let this be a warning to you. The Sultan, upon discovering the dagger and reading the note, was struck by a profound awe, a mixture of fear, respect, and realization. The message was clear. The reach of Alamut was long, and its master was not a man to be underestimated. This incident led to a pivotal shift in the sands of power. The Sultan, recognizing the futility of opposing such a formidable adversary, extended an olive branch, forging a pact of peace with Hassan, and acknowledging the sovereignty of the Nizari Ismaili state. As the years passed, the tale of that night and the power of the assassins spread like wildfire. Legends of their deeds, shrouded in the mystique of mystery and fear, traveled across lands and seas, embedding themselves in the hearts of kings and commoners alike. The assassins became not just a group of skilled warriors. They became a symbol of a shadowy power that could tilt the scales of empires. Hassan, known in his later years as the Elder of the Mountain, carried the weight of his legacy with a grace that belied the ferocity of his younger days. His life, woven with threads of courage, wisdom, and an unyielding dedication to his cause, was a tapestry of profound impact. Even as he neared the end of his journey in 1124, passing away in his 70s, the seeds he had planted continued to grow. The Order of Assassins, his most enduring legacy, lived on, a testament to a man who had dared to change the world. Yet, the legacy of the Hashashins was a double-edged sword. While they inspired awe and commanded respect, the trails they left in the sands of time were also stained with the blood of their actions. The deaths they dealt were a grim reminder of the costs of power and influence. Hassan's story, thus, is a poignant reflection on the complexities of human endeavor, the intertwining of greatness and moral ambiguity, where every light casts a shadow. Through his charisma and vision, Hassan had indeed begun something far greater than himself, a legacy that would endure through the ages, for better or for worse.